Okay, let's dive right in. We're talking about the wild world of AI-assisted coding, and we're asking a pretty important question. What is the real race that everyone should be focused on? And I want to kick things off with this question for you. What if that finish line everyone is sprinting towards just isn't where we think it is? What if the real competition is happening just slightly out of view? Because right now, let's be honest, the entire industry seems to be caught up in what you could call the AI generation race. You see it everywhere, right? The goal seems so simple, so exciting. Build an AI that writes more code, that can handle way more complex tasks, and does it all at a speed we never thought possible. This is the race that gets all the headlines. And the scale of this thing is just mind-boggling. Get this, OpenAI's Codex alone has 3 million weekly active users. This isn't some niche experiment in a lab somewhere. It's a massive, global movement, and it's all about one thing: generating code. But this is exactly where our story takes a sharp turn. Because all that focus on generation, it's creating this lurking problem. Right underneath all that hype and enthusiasm, there's a hidden trust deficit. Now, according to a recent Stack Overflow survey, developers are jumping in with both feet. A whopping 76% either use these AI tools already or they're planning to. So adoption is clearly not the problem here. But here's where that trust gap just smacks you in the face. While adoption is high, 62% are currently using the tools. Look at the difference. Only 43% of them actually trust the accuracy of what the AI spits out. That is a huge disconnect between usage and trust, and it creates a very, very real problem. And that problem has a name: the review bottleneck. You turn on this fire hose of AI-generated code, but since you don't really trust it, every single line has to be meticulously checked by a human. So yeah, the AI speeds up the writing, but then this flood of untrusted code just slams the brakes on your team's ability to actually approve and ship anything. So here's the crucial insight. The smartest players in this game, they're not focused on generation anymore. They are making a massive strategic pivot to validation. And here's the proof. Check this out. GitHub recently announced a 20% reduction in their validation time. How'd they do it? Not by making the AI smarter. Nope. They did it by running security scans and code reviews at the same time, in parallel. They're speeding up the checking process. And this really drives the point home. They also cut the start time for their coding agents by 50%. Again, the focus is on shrinking the time between a developer's request and getting a trustworthy, validated result back. It is all about shortening that feedback loop. This slide just lays it all out perfectly. The old race was about generation speed, a supply-side metric, all about producing more code. The new race is all about validation speed, and that's a monetization metric. It's about how quickly you can trust and ship that code. One is about quantity, the other is about creating real business value. Okay, so if validation is the new race, how do you win it? Well, you do it by building an entirely new kind of competitive advantage, a new moat. And that moat is called the validation layer. Now, this isn't just a single tool you can buy, it's a whole operational system. It combines automated testing, security scanning, background work, and a super clear process for human approval. Its only job is to make AI-generated code trustworthy, fast. So here's what that actually looks like in practice. A developer gives an instruction, maybe even from their phone. Then an AI agent in the cloud gets to work, planning, coding, and running tests in the background. Then, and this is where the magic happens, the automated validation layer kicks in, running security, quality, and secret scans all at once. Finally, the developer gets a neat little summary of the validated result, ready for one final, fast approval. The human is no longer the bottleneck. They're the final checkpoint. You know, as the great software thinker Martin Fowler would say, this is the most important question. It's not about how brilliant the AI is, it's about how quickly and cheaply you can figure out when it's wrong. A fast feedback loop is absolutely everything. And let's be really clear, this validation layer is so much more than just running tests. It's about governance. It's about creating the audit trails, the permissions, and the logs that a business needs to actually take legal and financial responsibility for the work an AI does. This is how AI graduates from being a fun toy to becoming a core business process. So, what are the stakes here? Depending on how we approach this, AI is either going to become an incredible productivity tool or something much, much worse. You know, we've seen this movie before. Back in the 2010s, the DevOps revolution taught us that the winner wasn't the team that wrote the most code, it was the team that could ship code safely and reliably through automated pipelines. Well, today, history is just repeating itself. The focus is shifting from simply generating AI code to validating it safely through these new operational layers. And this leaves us with three possible futures. In the best case, AI is a true force multiplier, giving a tiny team the power of a giant engineering org. In the base case, the benefits are uneven. Teams with strong validation pipelines thrive, while everyone else gets left behind. And then you have the worst case, where AI becomes a debt amplifier. It doesn't reduce work, it just creates more low-quality work, flooding review queues with untrusted code, slowing everything down, and actually making things worse. So, this is the question I want to leave you with. As you look at how AI is being used in your world, is it truly becoming a productivity tool, or is it silently becoming a debt amplifier? The answer depends entirely on whether you're focused on the generation race or the validation race.